being online and actually doing whatever you are doing in various social media platforms or online channels. So the moment you are doing this, what are you doing that is right, and what are you doing that is wrong? So always understand that your online presence is traceable, and also learn how to control and manage the information available on your online platform. How are you in a position to manage the information that you already fed in the online platform? So guys, feel free to tell us what you people have ever interacted with an online platform. What are some of the things that you've been able to maintain or and do right the moment you are online? And the second thing that we are going to look at is how to write professional CVs. And when we are talking about CVs, we are going to see how best are you going to use the word processing software to construct your CV. These are available on the Google Docs. And here is where we are going to look at the templates available and replacing the words in the template. Now where you can use the bullet points, and also you can download the document that is online, save it as a PDF, and you can be able to print it and then present it for interviews and now get your job. And lastly, whatever we are going to look at will be crafting of cover letters. So the moment we are talking about crafting a cover letter, this is an accompaniment that you are supposed to add to your CV, so that the employer or the person who is seeking you to understand that particular position will read more and understand how do you suit this particular point. So guys, as I said before, feel free to engage us on the chat and let us get to know where you're joining us from, your names, and then from there, I'll be glad to see if everything is right on your side. So let us try as much as possible to see how we are doing, and we will be glad to respond to your concerns. Let us go deeper to our discussion today, and let me start by asking this question. Which social media channels do you use currently? Just feel free to engage us on the chat. Tell us if you're using WhatsApp, if you're using Facebook, if you're using Instagram. Tell us what are some of the social media channels that you currently use. And now from there, we shall pick this discussion. How do you usually now manage that digital footprint that is available in that particular social media? And the moment you're going to do that, I will now want us to discuss in depth how best do we manage your digital footprint on these social media profiles. Are you in a position to control whatever is online there? Are you in a position to put in check? Are you in a position to stand out and say, what is online there actually represent who I am? People, the moment they look at that, they can easily say, indeed, we know John as this kind of a person, and when you go online, you do not find something that contradicts the real person that you know. So that is why we are going to discuss this topic today of how to manage your digital footprint and social media platforms. So guys, feel free to tell us on the chat what are some of the social media channels that you do use, and we will be glad to check them out. And then also feel free also to tell us on your end, are you in a position to hear me clearly? Are you in a position to find everything that you are looking for? Familiarize yourself with the chat box. And also, if anyone can't hear, please try to refresh the page. And the moment you refresh your page, you'll be in a position now to get us clearly as much as possible. So let us get deeper to our discussion on how to manage your digital footprint. Let me ask this question. What do you think a digital footprint is? What are your thoughts when we are talking about digital footprint? And the moment you see a term called digital, it means it is something that is online. And the moment it's online, the term footprint is what one leaves behind after stepping on it. So when you're talking about digital footprint, we basically mean those traces that somebody can easily go back online and get to where you are because of what you left there. So just feel free to engage us on the chat. What are your thoughts when you're talking about digital footprint? As you can see on your screens, you can see a foot there, and you can see that is what we talk about, a digital footprint. So position it in your mind. If you look at that foot out there, Are you in a position to say, I did this on Facebook, I did this on WhatsApp or LinkedIn or Snapchat? And what are some of the things that you left there that can easily not build you as a person if you're talking about building a brand? So your digital footprint is all that stuff that you leave behind as you use the internet. So if you comment, if you make a Skype call, if you write emails, anything that you leave behind once you're online, that is all that we refer as a digital footprint. And the moment we talk about this, it's part of your online history. So that's why you find if you're using public laptops or maybe public computers, you'll find so many people after browsing their internet, they need to go to the history section and try to delete all the history that they've actually engaged with that particular device. So let us get deeper to see. And as I do this, guys, feel free to tell us where you are joining us from, your name, and I'll be glad to just say hello to you. I see Joy. Joy has just joined us. I believe Joy is from Uganda. Thank you, Joy, for joining us. And feel free also to share this link out there with your colleagues and also some of your friends so that they can join this discussion with us. So, guys, let us go deeper into our discussion of digital footprints. And how do we now leave digital footprints? How do we leave digital footprints? There are various ways that you can leave digital footprints, but just to mention a few, we have use of social media. The moment you are using social media platform, either you can like or you can retweet or you can leave a Facebook comment. The moment you leave this, it leaves a record of your perception or of your thoughts online. So if somebody posts any online content on a social media and you go and like, somebody will know at one given point, John or so-and-so was in a position to see this and they actually liked it or they said these comments to make about this particular post. So those are some things that you can actually leave a digital footprint in. Talking about that, you can also leave a digital footprint using a digital device. Here is where we talk about the mobile phones, the tablets, or the computers that you use. Here in Kenya, you can attest, the moment we have kind of an investigation being done on a given place, you'll find the investigators will come, pick that particular gadget that you're using, and then they can go and now try to follow the digital footprints that you usually have on those devices, and they can easily understand, were you involved in this particular aspect or not? So some people actually go to the sites that you ever visited and they try to track the information or whatever you are looking for in that particular site. So by actually looking at the digital device that you are using, so many people can easily understand who was this person and what were you really looking for in this particular site. And then not forgetting, you can also leave the digital footprint when you're using an online shopping platform. Here is now where we talk about e-commerce. If you've ever visited Jumia, if you've ever visited Amazon, or to either get a product or a service, it often leaves cookies on your system, which can track your movement from site to site. And that's why so many marketers who are using e-commerce platform, if you don't get to the checkout box, they're in a position to track you and use those cookies so that they can easily retarget those particular products that you are interested in, but you never hit the checkout box or you never purchase that particular product. So guys, feel free to tell us on the chat, what are some of the ways that you think you've ever left a digital footprint? And are you happy with your digital footprint at the moment? And if not, what are you supposed to do? So stay tuned as I'm going to share with you some of the tips that you're supposed also to put in check when you want to manage that digital footprint that is out there. Let me ask this question. What comes up when you search your name on a search engine? When I say this, what comes up when you search your name on a search engine, what I basically mean is, what is your digital history online? Whenever I say digital history, it means all those sites that you've ever visited online or all those information that you've ever left online. So when we are talking about this, if you search your name, if you search anything or username that you're using online, what comes up? And the moment you find what comes up, and sorry guys for those who have got common names, maybe just try to be more specific to write the username that you have, because I know most people, the moment you type in your name on search engines, and your names are very common, you'll find it will bring the legendary people or maybe the famous people that are out there. So try just to break it down so that you can understand what comes up the moment you search your name online. So just to break it down to you, I wanted us to check it out on this perspective with statistics. We are talking about how to build your brand and apply for jobs. So basically, we are trying to look at how does your digital footprint either add value for you to get a job or deny you that opportunity of getting that particular job. And that's why you find out that a statistics that was carried early in 2018 says that 70% of employers use social media to screen candidates during hiring process. You can imagine you are a graduate, you had fun during your campus days. You are those people who say, if you are in Kenya, you understand the 844 system. You've gone through the system for 12 years, and now you are in your 16th year. After campus, so many people either go partying, drinking, and doing all sorts of stuff, and then you post it on your social media, doing all those crazy stuff. And the moment you get that opportunity to work in a particular company, the employers now, before they even call you for an interview, they try screen you on your social media pages. And whatever you've not actually set out there for them to see, they'll be in a position to see who you really are and understand what type of character you usually have. And now you find that even just to add on that, 43% of employers use social media to check on current employees. Not only you checking on you before being hired, but even after the hiring process, you already have that job. You'll find a good percentage still go back to social media to screen whatever their employees say online, which means an online platform is a very essential tool when we are talking about jobs or opportunities in your career path. So be very careful in terms of what you are posting online, and understand what are some of the do's and some of the don'ts. Let us go to why or how employers use this social media that we are talking about. You find out that either 58% with the 58% of these employers will say, I'll make sure the people that I employ also have a good brand online, or they have a good reputation online. I remember there was this story in Kenya where there was a lady that was appointed in the tourism industry, and once the appointment was publicized, Kenyans were so much in disagreement with that particular position, and they said, how can you give this position to this particular lady? And yet if you go back to her Facebook page, she was the first person who was not promoting this particular thing in the tourism sector. So you find out that whatever you post online can easily make people change even important opportunities that can come to you. So try as much as possible, understand, what am I posting online? What am I supposed to, and what am I supposed not to do online? And whatever I do, who is in a position to see them? And that's why I now want us to see, how do you manage your digital footprint? So guys, tell us on the chat, have you ever managed your digital footprint, and what was your experience? Tell us on the chat. And if not, here's where I'll advise you, all of you, to take a piece of paper and a pen and just write these points down. There are several ways to keep on top of managing your digital footprint. One, you can do a cleanup of content. Go back to your social media platform, see some of the pictures that you are tagged in. Are you happy, and can you associate with those pictures? And if not, remove yourself from them. Delete even some comments that you ever posted online and you are not in a position to justify why you are doing that. The second thing, think before you click. This is very important. Think before you click. Whatever you post once you click actually remains there. And please try as much as possible, the moment you are posting anything online, let it not be an angry post. Let it not be that it can hurt the feelings of the other party, because the moment it hurts the feelings of the other party, it will actually display you as the bad one. So try to be as neutral as possible, or as positive as possible, to avoid hurting other people's feelings. And the moment you are using a digital footprint, it will either make you have a bad reputation online, and it can deny you a lot of opportunities. And then something very important not to forget is to update your privacy. Who sees whatever you post? Use strong passwords, strengthen your privacy settings, and also change passwords regularly. Please try as much as possible to know who can see my content and what do I usually have to do before I post. Am I supposed to only share with my friends? Excuse me. Am I supposed to do this and that? So guys, feel free to tell us on the chat, and I'll be glad to respond to some of the questions. And the fourth and the fifth is analyze your current footprint. Just go back to your social media, try and analyze. If I look at my Facebook at random, what will somebody say about this particular person? And then lastly, try as much as possible to post positive content, something that encourages people, something that people can easily say, it is good to the society, and I'm glad to see this and that. So feel free, guys, tell us on the chat how you find the session, and also some of the ways that you think you can improve your site in. So feel free to tell us, and I'll be glad to share with you. As I'm proceeding, let me ask, how do you manage your privacy settings? This is very key, and if you are using any social media platform, just go to settings section. Once you go to the settings section, just choose privacy, and once you choose the privacy section, you'll be in a position to see who can see your posts. Do you want it to be public for everyone? Do you only want friends? And do you want some friends and also not others? So it gives you all those rights where you are in a position to choose who can see. And then edit also who can see your requests, and also edit who can see your friend list. Because there's some people, they say they know you by just looking at your friends. So either you'll find your friends are bad, and the moment somebody visits your social media page and they see you are friends to a certain person, even those who are Christian know, show me your friends and I'll know who you really are. So try as much as possible to even edit those who can easily see your friend list. Just to add on that, even Twitter has got its privacy settings. Just go to settings, choose privacy, and you'll actually control what people can easily see in this particular section, and also control your location information. And when I talk about location information, here's where I'm talking about Solomo. If you're using any online platform, there's a slogan that we usually use, Solomo, SOLOMO. And so actually means the social part of you. And the lo is the locality, and the MO is the mobility part of it. So the moment you say you are on any social media platform, you need to be social. You need to have friends for it to actually qualify to be called a social media platform. Once you become social, now it will track your location so that it can identify people who are close to you or around your locality or you've ever interacted with, so that you can connect with them. And then the last thing, it is mobile. So try as much as possible to control those who you interact with, those who know your locality, and also the last thing, the mobility of that information. Talking about that, we can now come to talk about LinkedIn. And LinkedIn is kind of a professional profile, and you find that LinkedIn is a very important platform. If you're a job seeker, you need also to be on LinkedIn. I know there's the basic and there's the premium version. So try as much as possible to understand, what do I stand for in this particular sector? What is working and what is not working? So guys, feel free to tell us on the chat, and I'll be glad to respond to you. So just feel free, tell us what is working for you, and I'll be in a position to tell you this and this is working and what you need not to do. So as I said before, what is working for you? Let us know. Let me talk more about LinkedIn and what you need to put in check. How do you create a professional LinkedIn profile? One, try as much as possible to have a LinkedIn profile that has got a headline, and the headline is very key. And now we've got the about section and the experience section. Just to break it down, first make sure you have a quality profile picture. When I say quality, it means the clarity of your face, just from your chest going upwards. Is it clear enough so that somebody can easily know whom they are talking to? After that, the first thing after seeing your profile picture, or maybe your display picture, the second thing is now your summary. Summary is now where you tell us who you really are, include your previous roles and also some of the titles that you've ever had, so that you can be in a position to display to us what are your current strongholds. And then after that, you can now come to the about section. Yes, now you make sure you highlight with us what are some of the experiences that you've got for this particular position or this particular career that you've chosen. And then from there, the experience section is now where you talk more on how you do qualify for that particular position. So guys, as I'm saying about all this, I know most of you, or maybe some of you, have ever interacted with this platform. So just tell us what were your experiences and what are some of the things that you need to put in check, and also for us to be in a position to know what is working for us. And then after doing all that on LinkedIn, the same way LinkedIn falls under social platforms. And if it is social, it means you need to make connections. How do you make connections? Try and ask yourself, what am I going to get from this particular person? Am I going just to connect with him? And then during what span? I usually share this with my friends and some of them laugh. After a month or so, I usually revisit my contact list on my phone. And I pick my phone, I start from A going downwards. And I'm like, why did I actually have this number in my phone? And either for the last 3 months or 4 months, I've never contacted this person. And here I'm talking about people who are your friends, leave alone your relatives, your colleagues, people that you truly interact with in day-to-day purposes. You just try and ask yourself, even where did I get this contact? And the moment I don't figure out how I got your contact and how beneficial you are to me, believe you me, I end up deleting your contact in my phone so that I can create some space for me also now to connect with people who are important into my life. And the same applies to LinkedIn. Go to your LinkedIn profile. Look at that particular person profile. Look at how whatever they do, or also how they do connect. What of importance are you going to get from them? So try as much as possible to create your connections, and you'll be in a position to get the best out of it. And just to look at some of the do's and some of the don'ts, I usually pay attention to the do's. And just to share a few, always make sure you post content regularly. That is key, so that somebody knows you are still active in that particular network. You can imagine, once you posted a Happy New Year on your social media profile, the next time we see you, it is an Easter holiday. The next time we see you, maybe it's a public holiday that everybody's celebrating. People will say, don't even look for him in that particular platform, because there's nothing that he posts, or it is okay. So whatever I'm trying to say, try as much as possible to post content regularly. The second thing, try to nurture relationships. Keep in touch with valuable leads. The moment you get somebody who will be valuable to you, try as much as possible to make it to stay in touch with them, so that they can easily tap into you and also now increase you from one point to another. And just to hit on one of the don'ts, also, you are not supposed to post personal content. The moment you are posting any personal content, just to share a story with you, you'll find that some of you, either you post things online, and you can fail to understand who is watching that particular thing that you've posted. Either you can be in your room, you are doing your thing, and just somebody, by just posting, somebody can easily know which environment are you in, and what do you have in your house, or what are you doing. So people are in a position to read into whatever you've posted online and be in a position to use it for their other selfish gains. So just be as careful as possible, so that you do not lose out on some of the security factors. And how do you now share content? There's so many ways that you can share content. And the moment we are talking about, it's now a post. If you are creating a post either on LinkedIn or Facebook or on social media pages, you can easily post it online. That one is how you can share. And now once you share that content, you'll find, let it not be offending or offensive. The second thing that you can also make sure your information has reached out there, you can use relevant hashtags. If maybe, for example, our hashtag is digital skills for Africa, the moment you're posting it and then you put the hashtag, or maybe I've seen also positive vibes. So you'll find the discussion around that hashtag can now reach so many people who have ever liked that particular hashtag or have ever used that particular hashtag. Another thing, make it visual. Post the images or videos that draws people in and bring your post to life. We usually say pictures read a lot or mean a lot to you. So if you get the right if you've got the right picture, you'll be in a position to know this is what is working. So guys, as I'm saying this, please feel free to tell us where you're joining us from, and just to pick on a few people who have connected with us. Just to pick on a few, I can see VJ S Cross joining us from Nairobi, saying great insights. Thank you very much, S Cross. And I can also see Gina. This is interesting. Thank you, Gina, for your comment. And just to point out a few. So guys, feel free. I see VJ saying it's cold, rainy, though you are enjoying the session. Thank you. Yes. So just remember to keep yourself warm. I know it's cold in Nairobi, but try as much as possible to keep yourself warm, and we shall be glad to share with you some of the things. And now, I only want to discuss something about this particular post. We are talking about managing digital footprint. And before I finish this particular section, I wanted us to see this. We have these two kind of people here. You can see there is Josh Soap, and we have the Josh Soap boss, which means it's particularly an employee and a boss kind of a relationship. And you find that if you are online, most people usually say, I do work in this particular organization. And as you can see down there, this is the company founder, and the other guy is a digital designer. And then he's saying he's so happy listening to T4F while pretending to work. And this is a post that you've put out there on a social media platform, not knowing your manager or your co-founder of that particular business is also on that particular platform. So you'll find he will just come to your comment and say, this is a nice status update. How stupid can you be? You can fool me, but when you act in this total disrespectful to all hard work people, abuse the environment, then you've crossed the line. You can imagine. How does it sound? What was wrong with this post? What do you think? You can share. And also just to share again, we also still have John Doe, who is an account manager, and also we now have John Doe's boss. And then John Doe says, I love when I can hear my boss talking on phone at work. As long as I can hear her on the phone, I know it means she's not going to sneak up on my behind and see how many web browsers have opened. These are people who actually pay attention to their bosses. So you are very sure your boss is talking on phone and he's not coming to your desk to look at whatever you are doing. And the boss actually says, I love when my employees post such things on LinkedIn. And whatever he says is, I'll need to see you in the office at 4. What are your thoughts? What do you think the boss said to tell John Doe at 4? Those are some of the posts. And just to point it out, please, feel free to tell us some of the things that you think you've ever posted online and you think your manager or your direct line of work supervisor can say the moment we are online. So guys, I don't know if you have any questions. Feel free to share with us some of the questions that you have, and I'll be glad to respond to them. So just to point it out, try as much as possible to control the privacy settings of your digital footprints. The moment you get that right, you'll be in a position to hit us up. The second discussion that I want us to have is now writing professional CVs. And I know this is a topic that so many people have shared concerns with, and so many people know this is what you need to do. I'm not going to change any of that, but I'm just going to put some more flesh to whatever you know. What information should you include in your CV? What are you supposed to put in check, and what are some of the things that you need just to know that this is right and this is what I need to do? So guys, feel free, tell us and let us know what are some of the things that you need to put in check when you're checking your CV. Thank you. I see Queen joining us. Thank you. And I see Ngina saying joining us from Ruaka. Thank you, Ngina. And feel free to share this link to your friends. Let them also join us, and then we can also get to know some of your comments or concerns of how to build the digital footprint, how to manage it, and also how to create a professional CV. And just as I had said before, the moment you are building your professional CV, it has 4 main key points. One, your personal information. What is your personal information? You need to put as a full name there, your contact details, a header. This must match the role that you're applying for. A header is very important. And then also remember to include a summary of yourself in the personal information. After that, you now go to experience. When you're talking about experience, we are meaning your work experience, your academic history, and some of the achievements that you've ever had. So the moment you get this right, you'll also be in the right position to know what people are saying and some of the things that you also need to just state correct for your employer to know that you are the perfect person for this particular position. And just to share, there are also strengths and skills. When you're talking about strength, they have the personal strength, personal skills, and soft skills. Soft skills are those kind of things that you learn on day-to-day purposes, and we shall look more into that, and just to some of the hobbies and some of the interests that you people might be having. So guys, feel free to tell me on the chat what are some of the information that you think is very important when you're talking about CV. And I'll just show you this chart. I know you can see when you're talking about personal information, we are going to look at the general side and also ways to contact you. What do we know about you? Your full name, and let it be official, and your address. Address is very important so that we can know. And nowadays, I don't think people usually use the postal addresses, but you just have to make sure you have an email address so that we can contact you. And then also ways to contact you can also include a phone number. And if the job stipulates that it also needs to know your age and your nationality, and even if you have a driving license, try as much as possible to include them. After that, always also understand what experience talks about. And when you're talking about experience, you can see the flow of chart there. What did you do before? What did you achieve? And how does this relate to the role that you're applying for? So you ask yourself, what did I do before I made this particular post? And what did I achieve while I was doing that previous thing? And the last thing, how does it relate to whatever I'm applying to? So guys, feel free to tell us on the chat, and I'll be glad to respond to all these. And just to see how you can also get to identify your strengths and skills. There are the tangible experiences, and also you've got the transferable skills. Tangible are the ones that you go in school to be taught. And now there are also others that you can just sit down and then reflect and ask yourself, what did I get out of this? And now to the last one is now the transferable skills. The transferable skills here, we are referring to all that you can easily get from people who are professionals and they work closely with you. Let me ask this, what are your top 3 strengths, and why do you think they're your top 3 strengths? Post it on the chat, and I will be looking at some of your responses so that we can be in a position to interact with you. So guys, feel free to tell us some of your strengths, and I will understand how you are dealing with them. Let me now just show you a simple way of creating a CV, and this is where we are talking about using Google Docs. I don't know if any one of you has ever used a Google Doc to create a CV. There are templates on the Google Doc where you can download the Google Doc, use the CV templates available, enter the information required in those templates, save the document as a PDF, and now you can make copies and be in a position to respond to them. Just to show you as an example, on a mobile phone is also available, and you can also do this, and you can be in a position to land to opportunities that are there. So on phone, what you need to do is just select the Google Doc that you use, select that particular template that resonates to your career path, and now feed in the information as per the template, and then save it, export it to PDF, and the moment you do that, you'll be in a position to have it, download it, print it, and also present it to your interviewers. Any question in the room? If you have any question, hit us up on the chat, and I will be responding to some of your questions. So anyone with a question, guys, let me just see what people are saying. I see Queen saying enjoying the session as well. Gina, the boss should find a way to be open up with his or her employees as to create a conducive work environment. Thank you for the insight, Gina. And that we are just discussing more on your digital footprint. And the moment you are doing that, please try as much as possible to understand what are the repercussions of the post. And that's why I said before you tap the post button, think of the repercussions. What are some of the consequences that you're going to get? And also I can see Gina saying some of the top 3 strengths are she's very social and very creative. Thank you very much, Gina. I think you're active on the chat, and thank you, Evans, for just keep the discussion going on. And then let us now look at our last bit of it, that is now creating a cover letter. This is a very important thing to do. And most of you either fail to do it or maybe fail to include this, because most employees or most employers do not ask for a cover letter. They just say, post your CV and we shall be in a position. So let me give this disclaimer. Please, even if they don't say, always make sure you accompany your CV with a cover letter. And the moment you're talking about a cover letter, what do we use the cover letter for? That's the question that is in your mind. A cover letter is something that covers. It's something that it gives more meat to your CV. You know, a CV has got that kind of structure, and you're not in a position to say how fully do you qualify for that particular post. And just to say, a cover letter is the easiest way to stand out from the crowd. If I pick a CV and you know these are templates that you've fed in, what makes it different from the other person? It's just maybe the name and the name of the school that you went in, and also some of the qualifications. So if you include a cover letter, you are in a position to tell people, I've done this is working for me, and I'm in a position to do this and that. So guys, feel free to tell us, have you ever used a cover letter before, and what are some of the experiences that you had as a person, and we will be in a position to get it right. So just to hit you people up with some of the do's and the don'ts on a cover letter, I'll give you 5 steps of building a great cover letter. 1, try with the signage. Hi, hello, and dear. I don't know. Tell us on the chat. Which one do you usually use? Do you usually use hi or hello so-and-so? Do you usually say to the person concerned or to whom it may concern? So you're supposed to start with the salutation. The second thing is the introduction part of it. And now you summarize yourself and then come to the problem versus solution and the relevant achievements, and then you sign off. Just to break it down so that we can be in check in this. Start strong. If you don't start strong, somebody will be bored with your cover letter. So if you know the person you are writing to, just say, hi, John, this and this is whatever you wanted to say. And then if you can imagine, if you're writing to me and you know me, and then you say, to whom it may concern, how will I feel? So try to put a name to it. And then on the introduction part, tell us who you really are and what do you do, or what job you are applying for, or where did you hear about it. And the moment we get to know that, we'll understand at what context are you talking about all this. After that, you summarize yourself. What's important to you? What are you good in? What do you enjoy doing? And why are you applying? So this is just basically what you're supposed to put on the summary section. And then you now come to the problem versus the solution. What solution do you think you're offering to that particular employer? So here is where you need to understand the job description and the language used. So the tone that you use when you're writing also matters. So try as much as possible to put everything in check so that you can be in a position to understand how it works. So guys, feel free to tell us, have you ever interacted with have you ever written a cover letter? What were some of the challenges that you got when you are trying to compare the problem in the company and the solution that you are going to offer? And then just to show that you do qualify, you also now to tell us the relevant achievements that you have. What are some of the certificates that you've ever received? What have you ever volunteered in? You know, so many people, we have got the same certificates. We have the primary, secondary, and the campus certificates. What other certificate do you have? And what are some of the achievements that you've ever received? So the moment you get all those right, you'll find you can be in a position to get it well. And don't forget to sign off. This is very important and critical. Always understand how to sign off. As an example that is on your screen, you can say, I am honored to be considered for this position. I look forward to hearing from you. And please let me know if you like any more information about me. You can finish with many thanks or regards, and now you're writing your name there. And please understand to use the same format of writing throughout your cover letter. Don't start with this given format, and then towards the center, you do change it from this to that. So please pay very much attention to how you are using it, and you'll be in a position to get it right. So guys, if you have any question in terms of the cover letter, also in terms of creating a CV, feel free to tell us on the chat. And I know my moderator, Evans, who is doing a good job, will be in a position to respond to some of them. And also myself, I can look at the chat and just to respond to a few questions that you people might be having. And then don't forget, we have more resources that are available on the Google Digital Garage platform. I think Evans will be posting a link to you. You can click on that link, sign up, read some of the courses. I know this has been a short webinar, so I know maybe you wanted us to go on and share much, but there's an online content where you can sign up, get to learn, get to the deeper part of our discussion today, and you'll be in a position also to be certified and know what am I supposed to do right and what I'm not supposed to do. And also don't forget, we are going to offer you certificates for participation. Fill in the certificate form, just requires your name and our topic, and now just say whatever you also liked about this session, and I'll be glad to see some of your responses. Let me just ask this question. What are your next steps? What are you going to do different from whatever you used to do? We've seen how to manage your social media and your digital footprint. What are you going to change? Are you going to change the privacy settings? Are you going to change how you wrote some of the things or the comments or some of the things that you are tagged in? And then after checking how to manage your social media page, we now went to creating a CV using a Google Doc. You check the template, download the one that you prefer using, feed in the content, and after doing that, you can save it as a PDF and you can print it and then go apply for jobs. And then from that, I now came to the last thing that we were discussing, and that was cover letter. So as I said, most people will not ask for a cover letter from you, but they will say, if you are doing anything, try as much as possible to include a cover letter. And here's where we've talked about the salutation, the introduction, the summary section, the problem versus solution, and now we also talked about the achievement, and now the last thing is the conclusion. So guys, hit us up on the chat, tell us what you are going to do best, or what you think you are going to change in your execution in this, and we shall be glad to see or experience some of the successes. Also, I want to ask you to, or request you to, follow us on our social media handles. I believe Evans is going to post this on the chat, and you can also be in a position to interact with us on social media. Tell us what are some of the things that worked after this webinar. What was your testimonial comments that you might be having? So guys, I want to thank you very much for joining us for this particular webinar. It was my pleasure leading this discussion. I'm Wanjala John, for those who joined in late, and thank you very much for sparing your time to listen to me, and also having time for this discussion. Just always make sure you keep safe, sanitize, and also remember your health is your wealth. Thank you, and God bless you. Goodbye.